Have you ever witnessed something happen that is quite frankly without any real explanation? I have, and I'm pretty sure I did it to myself. It wasn't intentional, but was something I sought out to make me feel better, safer, and less invisible, really. About 10 years ago, thanks to the Discovery Channel, I had developed a curiosity about magic and witchcraft, and had started researching it, with no intentions of practicing it. However, the curiosity led me to websites, library books, and eventually a little shop about 20 minutes from my home. I had started researching spells and various other practices for beginners, and struck up conversation with the shop owner on more than one occasion to ask a question here and there about such things, but never really went any further than that. Purchasing a crystal here, a book there, incense all the time. I didn't have a severe interest in any spell until I found the protection spell. It seemed that the spell would not only protect you from physical harm, but also protect you from verbal abuse or others' ill intentions toward you. But another thing is, not only would it protect you against their harmful intentions, it would also project onto them whatever harm they were trying to do to you, as well as intensify it. So, for example, if someone were trying to steal from you, they would lose their money instead. Things like that. So I set out to acquire my items. I loved this shop and would visit it at least once a week, if not just for the ambiance. It was mesmerizing most times, but this evening it seemed even more magical, if that makes sense. I was the only customer, and the countless candles were creating a comforting feeling as I shopped for my items. After about 10 minutes, the shop owner and I, that had become friendly, approached me and asked, "Are you going to perform your first cast?" In her deep, soothing accent, her deep, set eyes were like a truth serum. Yes. I looked away a bit embarrassed. "May I ask which spell you have chosen?" Red-faced, I responded, "Well, I chose a protection spell," again looking away ashamed for some unknown reason. The shop owner then gently placed her hand on my shoulder and asked, "Are you in danger?" She asked with genuine concern. No. I paused. "But I feel like I have a target on my back. I mean, I grew up neglected and abused, but that was long ago and I feel better now, but I still feel like I am misunderstood, left out, and even picked on, and I just want it to end." I said this slightly nervously, feeling exposed and nervous. She nodded in an understanding way. "Ah," she said, "this will help that indeed," but added, "Do you feel that you know what you are doing?" "Yes," I said. "I have been studying relentlessly, and my intentions are pure. I mean no harm to anyone. I just want to feel safe." She nodded again, but turned to look me dead in the eye, with a severely serious look in her eyes and intensity that anyone would regard as serious. "A warning. A deep meditation before you begin. Clearing out all negativity, leaving no trace of anyone who has wronged you, must be done first. If you begin the spell, and at any time someone else comes to mind that has harmed you, the spell will not work, and this will have the reverse effect. A clean, blank slate in your heart and mind. If you do not do this, you will be cursing yourself. I understand, I said, and I did. I had done enough research on this and read enough to know that spells and witchcraft were not created to create harm, but that throughout history, there were many that misused its power, and in turn they could not escape what they had created for themselves. I thanked her, purchased my items, and left the store. Finally at home, I followed the instructions and did exactly as I was to do, including the instructions from the shop owner. My meditation and everything else felt good. I proceeded with a spell. And when I finished, I looked around the room expecting to feel something magical. Nothing. No puff of smoke or balls of light as any movie would lead you to believe. Just me and my empty house, and far off in the distance, the sound of crickets. I went to bed. When I awoke, my phone was vibrating nonstop. Confused, I looked at it to discover 12 missed calls, 7 voicemails, and 23 texts. All from a mixed array of family, friends, and employers from jobs that I had applied for so long ago I honestly couldn't remember how long ago it was. Even odder, it was a Saturday. Most people don't call you about jobs on a Saturday. Barely awake and slightly confused, made my way to the kitchen, started my laptop and coffee. Check emails and social media, same thing. Countless messages and posts from people I hadn't heard from in years, saying things like, just saying hi and call me so we can get together, types of things. Bombarded from messages that had come in all night long. And now it seemed it was visible I was online, and the messages were coming in like a storm, so I closed the laptop. And then remembered the spell. Holy shit. As it dawned on me, it fucking worked. Already? Sat in contemplation and stared out the window sipping coffee. It was a Saturday, and there was a to-do list. So I showered, made my way to the grocery store, and as I was leaving, I heard a familiar, horribly annoying, grating voice I hadn't heard since high school. One of the mean girls, as everyone called her. One of the 5 that made it their mission to make everyone miserable. And though the approaching woman wasn't the worst, she was still friends with all of them, including the worst of them. The one called Manders, who still went out of her way to target me, as soon as just a few days ago, making fun of me on social media and bringing up old things that no one cared to talk about but her. She was evil, caked in makeup and hair extensions. The approaching girl wasn't as bad, but a fresh reminder of what those girls did to everyone every single day, and that one girl did to her non-stop. She felt as if her ears would bleed when she heard her say, "How are you? Oh my God, it's so good to see you." It was so odd how someone could talk without barely moving their mouth. Staring back at this monster, I was about to speak when her phone went off. She looks at her phone, reads it, and tears start to form in her eyes as she says nothing. She turned the phone towards me so I can read it, and it says, "Manders had an accident, didn't make it, call me ASAP." And then an inscription that says Amber. And as we make eye contact, she says, "I gotta go." And she walks away. I get in my car and think to myself, who texts someone that someone dies? Only them. So weird. And as I'm driving home, it hits me. I hit the brakes and pull over immediately to the side of the road and think, oh my fucking god. Did the damn spell do that too? I'm starting to have a panic attack. All of a sudden, a man who didn't seem to appreciate my driving skills slams on his brakes next to me so I can clearly see him flip me off. And as he honks his horn, his airbag deploys. I scream and floor it to my house. Once inside, I call the shop owner, hysterically crying, and explain the occurrences of the day and say, I killed her. The fucking spell killed her. The shop owner interrupts me and says that no, the spell does not contain that kind of power, and she would never encourage such things. A spell like this would not kill them but simply speed up what was already in motion from their own karma. If this woman died so quickly after the spell, this would mean that she had extremely ill intentions toward me and that I was correct in feeling unsafe. As I sat for a moment calming myself, the shop owner silently spoke again and asked, May I ask you, is there anyone who caused you any type of severe harm in your life? Anyone who did not make amends for it or feel remorse? Again, I sat silent on the line. The shop owner spoke again more insistently and said, You must tell me if there is anyone like this, so that I may try and stop it or slow it down somehow. Is there somehow anyone you can think of? You must tell me now. After a few moments, I finally realized and spoke. I told the shop owner something I never said out loud to me myself. There is one person, I said. My mother.